We are live for our Real Estate Unfiltered conversation. And today is Monday the 9th. So I want to close so that there's not like a weird echo. Um, and I want to share this into our real estate operations community. So every Monday, Carissa and I come on around this time and we do a live for our real estate unfiltered vlog cast, as we call it. So it's just an unfiltered real estate talk. We go live in our real estate operations community Facebook group, which is open to anyone, and then we upload it to YouTube, right? So this is an opportunity where I really was very passionate about wanting to come live on my main pages today for today's conversation, which is going to be touching on fair housing and beyond, right? Like, how are we behaving in the real estate space? And so that's what we're going to dive into today.
Yes, because our environment is very hot right now in everything going on with it's beyond politics. So we're not even going to say politics, but I believe a lot of people use politics as an excuse instead of understanding that there's a difference between being human and the way you vote, right? And they do correlate a lot. However, I believe right now, and I'm just jumping right into it.
Yeah,
And
please
this is
do.
my opinion, is when you know something is wrong and you don't stand for what's right, it makes you just as wrong, even if you're not doing it. And that's where we're going to head into our lane for the time being, for the moment, is in the fair housing aspect of it. So, um, Josie, I know you have the definition pulled up, so I think it would be great if you could read that first to kind of set the
Yeah, absolutely.
stage.
And so part of why full transparency, right, that I wanted to talk about this specifically is because Lauren Lucas, who y'all know, I've talked about her before, she's like the AI queen that I know in the real estate space. There might be more, but she's the one that I've been introduced through the Inspire community. And she did a post this morning that talked about fair housing, and it said, I shared it. So it said, for an industry legally bound to fair housing, it's staggering how many of you are publicly demonstrating that you are incapable of practicing it. Most people supported that, right? And then a couple people went in their comments and started giving her a hard time. All right. All right. So you know what? Let's dig deeper on that. Okay. So now this is Google. I did not look up like Webster Dictionary, right? But Google's definition. So the Fair Housing Act, 1968 federal law, right, amended in 1988, prohibits discrimination in renting, buying, financing, or advertising housing based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, including sexual orientation and gender identity, disability, or familial status. It applies to most housing providers, including landlords, real estate agents, and lenders. Okay. If you need me to repeat that again, you can watch the replay or go Google it, okay? So I want people to hear that, right? And so some people joked and they were like, oh, I don't care if you're a serial killer, I'll help you buy a house. Now, I thought that was funny because y'all know I love serial killer shows and things like that, right? Like I love me some Dexter. And not all money is good money. And so the point though of her post, right, is if you are someone, and I'm gonna go LGBTQ plus for a second, right? Now, if you are someone who does not support that community, for example, but then you are gonna go and help a client to buy a, I don't know, $600,000 house because you're looking at the price point and you just want that sale, but then you're going to turn around and say a whole bunch of anti, LGBTQ plus comments and statements, then really? Like if that client knew that that's how you truly felt inside, do you think that they would have hired you to be their realtor? And so that is the point of Lauren's post, right? And that is the point of several of our posts, because I know that I've been very vocal over the weekend as well, right? And several people have been very vocal over the weekend And yet it's people keep trying to shift the conversation and make it about something that it's not. Like a bunch of people went in and they were like, oh, is this because of the Super Bowl? Like I read you her post. Nowhere does it talk about the Super Bowl, the halftime show. Nowhere does it mention anything specific aside from the fact that people have been showing their colors, if you will. Right.
Absolutely. And so that's it kind of drives back to I made a post last week and somebody kept chiming in. Now, not once did I say in my post it was political, right? You vote for who you want to vote for. That's the right that we have as Americans, that we can vote however we want to vote, right? However, when you are jumping into someone's post who is strictly talking about being humane, a human being, and talking about human rights in general, and the first thing that you want to say is, well, Biden wasn't a good person either. Okay, guess what? I agree. Okay. I'm not arguing about that. This post is not about Biden. This is not about who I voted for, who you voted for. It's not about any of that. It's about the decisions that our leader is making for our country. And if you cannot differentiate those two specific things, this is where it's boiling back to that whole fair housing in the industry we're in is if you can't differentiate those two things, you need to look at your business and say, am I in the right line of business? Because if you cannot go in and understand that everybody, no matter whether you are legal, illegal, meaning citizen, Hispanic, black, white, gay, lesbian, whatever you are, if you do not feel that that person, regardless of their choices of who they are, who they were put on this earth to be, deserves a house to live in and be safe within that house. And I know you can say, well, I do that. No, you don't. Because I'm not saying you have to believe what they believe, because we all have different beliefs, but you
Mhm.
have to respect what they believe, right? Respect it. If it is not affecting you, then don't get all your panties all up in a wad, right? So if you can't differentiate those two, how are you doing your client a service if you're out looking for a house for them? Do you feel that they deserve the best deal? Do you feel that they deserve to be in the nicest neighborhood? Do you feel that they deserve to be in a safe neighborhood? If you are just tying that to money, you need to look in the mirror because this world that we live in is crazy. And there is one thing that I will say we all deserve to be treated fairly. I posted today and it was about the Super Bowl. So I will be very clear. My post was about the Super Bowl because I was getting so sick of people saying like, I'm gonna go watch this other Super Bowl halftime show and you watch yours. No, there isn't a yours and ours. There is one Super Bowl, people, and it has one performance, whether you like it or not, because maybe you didn't like it because it wasn't rock. Last year you didn't like it because it was rap. This year you didn't like it because it was Hispanic. Well, guess what? Our country was built on diversity. So get used to it or go somewhere else or get a cave. I don't know what to tell you, but get used to it. That's all I'm going to say because I love the fact that we do have choice. I love the fact that my neighbor can listen to whatever music. Do I listen to that music? I don't. Did I enjoy it? I did, because guess what? I love music. And if you cannot get past your ugly hatred of just wanting to get what you want out of everything in life, you'll live a much better life. You really will.
Right. And so it reminds me, I was saying to Carissa, this same time last year, before and after the Super Bowl, literally in February, I remember tensions running as high as they are right now. And it was bad on socials, right? And I'm sure a lot of us can remember that. And I remember doing a post, um, and I don't remember 100% what the post said. And a realtor who I used to adore, okay, was literally one of my favorite people in our office, went in the comments and said something like, get real. Um, because of, I don't remember exactly how it was, but based on where I live now, like I live in a diverse town in um Connecticut, but it's not the hood. I mean, I mean I live in a good neighborhood or whatever the case is. And even if I did live in the hood, but I don't. And so literally based on the town that I live in, he said something to the effect of like, get real, like you live in Stratford. So like what are you even talking about? Blah 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 blah. Basically implying that like I should just zip my trap shut, okay, because I live here versus I don't know Harlem. Like where is it an appropriate town for me to live, Mr. Realtor, who I thought was a friend of mine, for me to be able to speak up about some of the injustices that like I'm seeing happening right now, right? And so it like cut me so much because it was someone who I actually did like, who I would not have guessed anything like that would have came out of his mouth, right? Um, and you don't know how I grew up. Like I did grow up in the projects, right? And I've said this before, until I was in high school, I did not realize that I grew up in the projects because your environment is your environment. You don't necessarily know when you're a child, like if where you're growing up is not the norm. You just know, like I lived and there was bars on the window and we lived on like the second floor. I just thought, okay, somebody must have fell out of a window or something like, and this is normal. I don't know, like I was a child at the time where I used to live. And honestly, until high school, did like it came up again, and I think my sister was the one who said like, yeah, we lived in the like it was, and I was like, I honest to God did not know that, and I'm grateful for like my mom and my grandma and the safe space that I felt, right? I did not feel like I lived in the ghetto per se. I just lived in like a complex, and that's what I knew. And yet, that's the reality of my childhood. My mother, who I say all the time, worked 16-hour shifts, okay, to put me and my sister through private education. We eventually moved out of that neighborhood and we moved into a different hood in Bridgeport, different part of the ghetto in another town. Um, but literally, she worked from 7 to 2 at a fast food restaurant. And then she went and worked from 3 to 11 as a CNA. So 15-hour shifts before someone comes in my comments. Okay. So 15-hour shifts, and that was her schedule. And she would pick up overtime as much as she could because she was a single mom up until a certain point where she met my stepdad, right? That's the reality of my childhood. So for someone to come to me after the life that I've created with the support of my mother because of the sacrifices that she made and the success that I found now and that Valerie has found now that we have worked for and earned, and to then act like our history doesn't matter. No, I don't accept that. And the fact that you would even make that comment, how do you then stand there and tell me that you're an ethical realtor? Like, what is it that you're saying to your clients? What is it that you're thinking about your clients, to Carissa's point, right? And then
Right.
I remember Carissa, something similar happened where it was literally like a week or two later, and she said something on her socials, and someone went in her comments saying, like, basically for her to keep her trap shut because she's white.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. So when did it was it announced that just because you're not going through it means you can't stand against something that's not right, right? So that's the problem with our country. I can't speak for other countries, I never lived in another one. Is just that. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So if I sit here and keep my mouth shut, I'm just as bad as the herd. If I open my mouth, I don't know what I'm talking about because I am not brown. I'm white. However, I think we need to just look at it as humans. And if you can really just look in the mirror tonight and say, you know what? I am a human. And regardless of what music Josie listens to, what music Carissa listens to, what skin color they are, they bleed the same blood that you bleed, right? When you get an operation, they don't ask if you want blood from African American or Caucasian or Asian or anything other than what's your type, right? And I think that speaks volumes because at the core, that means we're all the same. And the only thing that um, can control us is a narrative that we continue to believe that we're different, which we are. We are different when it comes to music and hobbies and things that people do. But as humans, I believe we should all stand up for what's right. And what's right is what's right for you. If it doesn't affect you, let it be. If it makes someone else happy, let them be. If it's not causing harm, let it be. So whether that be music, whether that be um, where they're from, or I mean, it's heartbreaking what we're going through,
Right.
and it does correlate with our industry because Josie's completely right. How do you separate? How do you separate saying, you know, this is not what I stand for. I don't believe in I'm in an interracial relationship. I'm married to a black man. Okay. Do you know how many people probably think they shouldn't be married? But if they knew our love and they gave us a chance as humans, they would say, "Oh my God, there's nobody else for the two of you. Like y'all are made for each other." Because I can't imagine my life without him. And to think back how many years, not so many years ago, what was it, 50 years ago, that we couldn't be married and that would prevent us from being married. And it's just things like that. And that's why I look at I'm not a gay female, but I have compassion for gay females because guess what? If they can't marry the person that they love as much as I love my husband because of what other people think, it's wrong. It's wrong.
Right. Right. I mean, and even look at the Fair Housing Act, it was passed in 1968. So 50, 60 almost years ago, right? And that's the reality of the world that we live in. And so this past weekend has shown that yes, there are many of you out there who maybe should take a very hard look. Are you truly living fair housing in your lives as realtors, right? Are you emulating that for your clients? Not just because you want their money, right? But are you truly supporting all aspects of fair housing before you take someone on as a client, right? Are you letting them see both sides of you if you don't quite support that? And so, for everyone who has advocated, everyone who has reached out, everyone who has done a post, I don't care if you're black, blue, orange, yellow, green, purple, okay? Thank you for speaking up for what you feel is right, and for being an ally and being an advocate in a space where it's not comfortable to do so. So, this is an uncomfortable truth that people don't want to face, and hence why people tried to make it about the Super Bowl when Lauren shared that post. Or they tried to make it about something else. A lot of the different posts that have been shared over the past several days, people have tried to make about something else. And it goes back to the episode we did a couple weekends ago, right after MLK and right after the second shooting in Minneapolis, when we said your people are not okay, and like check on your people.
Yeah,
That's the reminder that I kind of want to finish on because, like, as hard as I'm trying to stay positive and focused today, I can tell you I'm not okay today, and I will be okay. But today, like this morning, was a tough one.
it
So
is.
check on your people.
It is. It's very heavy, and it doesn't have to be. And I don't want this to be a political blog, whatever we call our vlogcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want it to be anything like that. I want this to be a human vlogcast, whatever we call this thing, because I really just want us to all get back to our human roots, not where we came from, where we're going, like where we are today. We are all human and we all deserve to be treated with respect and have some place safe to live, some place safe to express the way that's what we were built on. And that's the sad part is our country was built on just that. And for you to say, well, that's not how I think, and then go and this is again boiling back to the Super Bowl where we had two separate halftime shows for the reason and I'm all about just educating. I will listen to your rant as long as you're coming at me in an educated manner, like you're seeking to understand. I will have a conversation with you. But in the same respect, I expect that from you. Like I want you to understand where I'm coming from, and anything that I do provide is factual. Like I'm not just coming from a like opinion and feeling, which sometimes we do get caught up in, but truthfully, it is all factual. Like, I even posted about our language, the English. Did you know that? Did you know that, Josie, that there is no law that says that in the United States, our official language is English? Because there is none. There is no official language. And that's why I'm like, I get so upset when people are like, oh, they're in America. Yes, okay, well, that's the predominant language that we speak is English. Like, just be compassionate and understanding and know that if they could speak English, don't you think they would? Like, imagine when we go over to like different countries, we expect them to speak our language. We don't learn their language fluently. I mean, some of us do, but
Yeah,
you get where
we
I'm going.
hope, maybe not
Yeah.
expect, but
Oh, yeah, but
but
there's
yeah,
a lot
and
of us
and
that do.
Americans get judged for it if like that's around. You go to Italy and you're looking for them to speak English, they're looking at you like, why didn't you make an attempt to learn a little Italian? I mean,
Exactly.
right? So,
So, but that's where I'm just
yeah,
like, just have understanding that, we're all different in what we like and how we live and what we experience, but at the core, we're all the same. We're all humans.
right, right. So on that note, because I don't want people thinking if you watched the other halftime show, like I am not saying that, right? Part of the post that I did first thing this morning, that a lot of people felt hit the nail on the head, said, you know, we have to realize that it's never all or nothing. So not all cops are bad. Not all Republicans are bad. Not all Democrats are bad. Not all Kid Rock fans are bad. Not all Diddy fans are bad. Not all people who originally voted for 45 are bad. Shall we keep going? So just realize that at the end of the day, the best analogy, and I wish I had the image, is the three eggs. Have you seen that meme? It's like the brown egg, the medium colored egg, and then like the white egg. But then when you crack them all open onto the skillet, they're all the same inside. It's like
Yeah.
that's what we're saying, right?
Yep.
Um,
And
so
what you could take away from this is because she's right. It's not about what Super Bowl halftime show you watch. It's not about who you voted for. It's about the decisions you make going forward after you know the truth.
that part.
And when you feel a certain way, like if it feels wrong, it probably is. And when I say feels wrong, like it, if you have to defend something really, like when you're getting in someone's post it's a positive post and you have to get in there and just bash it, like there's probably a reason. And so all we want to do is if you can just reflect on that and see how you can make just a little bit of a change in your everyday and just even if that's just listening instead of replying, right? Like just listen to what people are saying because a lot of the time when people are posting on Facebook, it's because they're hurt and they don't have anywhere else to go. And so if you just listen and look at them as a human and not your opposition, that's all we can ask is just listen. Open up your ears and listen because there's people that are hurting out there and just want to be heard.
Well said. Well said. On that note, we are going to let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled Monday programming. Hopefully, this resonated with someone who maybe didn't realize they were kind of violating those fair housing and didn't really think about it that way, right? And hopefully this makes a difference. Even if it's for one person, then we did our job here today, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the love.
Have an amazing week. Bye, guys.
Bye.